Hi, Writers. Cruz here. Thank you so much for joining me. In this video, we are going to be looking at two body paragraphs created by a student on the topic of how do you think modern devices have impacted our daily lives, and do you think that they are good for us? If this video is something that interests you, please stay tuned. Thank you so much for joining us and subscribing to the channel and or liking the videos that you like. First, I do want to let you all know that the video where I critique the introduction and the conclusion on this very topic would be beneficial to review before reviewing this video going over creating body paragraphs. I think it will help you understand how these paragraphs connect, and I suggest a review of that video first before jumping into this particular video focused on examining the body paragraphs. Now, if you take a look at these two sentences, you definitely get a sense that the student is going to go in a negative direction or focusing on the cons of modern devices and or looking at again the negative, taking the negative viewpoint with respect to modern devices. So we want to make sure that in the body paragraph, that's exactly the direction that the student takes. Because again, writers, if you're saying that you're going to take us on this journey, then we expect that you will be taking us on that journey. So let's take a look at the first body paragraph created by this student. If we cascade back into time, we will arrive in a realm where humans are active mentally and physically. We will perceive a world where we are not consistently focusing on our smartphones. We will step into a world where we feel a gush of energy rushing through our veins. Unfortunately, modern devices have fostered us to live a sedentary lifestyle, a lifestyle abundant with comfort, yet fraught with dangers. For instance, obesity rates, mortality rates, heart disease rates have soared more than ever. The unprecedented surge of fatal diseases is concerning. A prime example of someone who depreciated his health due to excessive usage of devices is my cousin, Brad. In his teenage years, Brad spent hours on his iPad watching YouTube and scrolling through Facebook furtively from his parents and claiming that it was for educational purposes. A hunchback and eyes fixed on the screen while eating on the bed had become his routine. Consequently, at the ripe age of 20, he was diagnosed with morbid obesity and spine misalignment. Brad's toxic dependency on devices left him with a mere notice of unemployment and a hefty hospital bill. Okay, so writers, definitely this student absolutely focused on the negative impacts of modern devices. They begin the paragraph with imagery, which we definitely appreciate, and they sort of create this world where we're not bombarded with the use of our devices, and they create this again this world where we feel a gush of energy and it seems more alive. Then it takes a turn, and the student uses an adverb here to shift us into a world that is not exactly ideal. And so I appreciate how this student transitioned us into sort of a more dystopian environment here due to the use and really the abuse of modern devices. So definitely this student went negative. I appreciate how this student initiated the discussion with, zooming out on a more global scale with respect to sedentary lifestyle, obesity rates, rates of heart disease, and then move to a more specific example with cousin Brad. And so that's very interesting to do, right, writers? It's a great tactic when it comes to body paragraphs, and that is zooming out and then zooming in with a more specific example. Notice the use as well of transition words here, right, writers, before I move into the next body paragraph. We have the adverb unfortunately, we have for instance, we have consequently. And so this student, again, included the use of adverbs and transition words to move us from one idea to the next. And I definitely appreciated that in this paragraph. And it's something that I notice in the higher scored Accuplacer Writeplacer essays. Let's go ahead and move on to the next body paragraph and see how the student transitioned us again into the next idea, the next world that we're going into, and again, checking to see if the student maintained that negative voice. The deleterious psychological impact of modern devices cannot be disregarded. According to neuroscience, usage of devices and modern apps like Instagram or Snapchat stimulates the production of a chemical in the brain, dopamine. This chemical encourages the feeling of ecstasy. Apparently, drugs and intoxicants produce the same chemical in the brain. This results in persistent reliance on the drug. Similarly, a majority of the global population is addicted to their devices. In the 21st century, the average human spends more than 6 hours on their devices per day. Are our devices becoming an alarming addiction for us? Limiting screen time can even lead to withdrawal symptoms like fidgeting, distracted thoughts, and anxiety. This is exactly what an addiction is. In a world where a luxury lifestyle is often associated with the availability of high tech devices, we are descending in a realm filled with health issues with a declined quality of life. Okay, no doubt, right, writers, you can definitely tell that this student again focused on the negatives of modern devices. We see negative word choice like deleterious. We see negative word choice such as drugs and intoxicants. We see negative word choice such as addicted, even alarming addiction. We see words like fidgeting, distracted thoughts, and anxiety. In addition, that last statement of we are descending in a realm filled with health issues with a declined quality of life definitely hit home with this idea of how modern devices are negatively impacting us. And again, just going back to the last sentence of their introduction, they said undoubtedly the pervasive reliance on modern devices has led to adverse impacts on our lives. The detriments regarding the long term use of devices cannot be neglected. And so, right writers, this student without a doubt supported their perspective through their body paragraphs by reinforcing negative stories, negative examples within their essay. And so, right writers, I hope looking at a student's example, examining their introduction, their conclusion, and then going back and unpacking and dissecting their body paragraphs, you can definitely begin to see how this student created very strong body paragraphs supporting their argument with the use of transition words, with through word choice as well, to again look at the negatives with respect to modern devices and their impact on our daily lives, and looking at whether or not they are good for us. There is no doubt that this student was very clear on their opinion on this topic, and that is something that you definitely want to include. You do not want to be wishy-washy or vague in terms of your opinion. You want to be clear and concise throughout the essay, and this student definitely did that in their body paragraphs through examples, through word choice and transition words. Thank you so much for watching this video, Right Writers. I hope these critiques ensure your success, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. See you again next Tuesday. Thanks again. Take care. Cruise out. Love you guys. Bye bye.